Good evening. The Lincoln County Board of Education is meeting in regular session today, Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025. It's 6 p.m. and we're at Guyan Valley Middle School in Branchland. This is a meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the county school system's business. There's a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in agenda item public comments. This meeting is being live streamed and a video copy of the meeting will be on the board's website within 5 working days. At this time, I'm going to ask Board Member Mosteller to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I actually went to retrieve the flag, but there is one if you can see through the wall.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Mosteller.
You did good.
Agenda item 2, roll call. We have Board Member Cartwright, Board Member Burns, Board Member Mosteller, and myself present, and on the phone is Board Member McComas. Takes us to agenda item 3, public comment. Did we have anyone sign up for public comment? No public comment, so that takes us to agenda item 4, student recognition, and I'll turn it over to Superintendent Barnett.
Well, good evening, everyone. Today we're here to we're going to recognize the Guyan Valley Middle School football team. I don't know how many members we have here. If those students could stand, football team, students and coaches that are here. So I want to congratulate them. They, again, were the Lincoln County champs and runners-up in the Lincoln Boone Conference Tournament. And we have, hopefully I got the right one. Hey, first try. We have a banner for you to hang here that you all can sign if you'd like. So just congratulations on your continued success, and we appreciate your hard work and look forward to taking that CO off here next year and having champions on there. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And the next recognition would be the Guyan Valley Middle School soccer team. Do we have members of the soccer team here? Probably a lot of the same folks.
Same kids.
So again,
In these little schools, they play everything.
soccer team, they were actually the Lincoln Boone Conference champions.
Why, isn't that something?
So we have a banner for them as well to hang up here in the school, and they can all sign it if they'd like. So we appreciate your work and look forward for a repeat. How about a repeat?
That's
Don't
right.
crawl up on everybody's lap. Jerry, look that dog crawl up on the girl's lap.
Yeah, that dog. I know. I live with that dog.
It's a doll.
There you go. Good job.
He trained it well, Jerry.
Yeah.
Look, he's so happy.
All right. So just a lot of hard work got put in by the coaches and the students, and can't forget the parents who get them there. There's a lot of times that's one of the hardest obstacles to overcome when you're in a rural community is getting somebody to practice and back. So just appreciate all the hard work that everybody puts into it. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. With that, it takes us to agenda item 5, presentation report, and we have Dr. Porter with Guyan Valley Middle School LSIC report.
All right, good evening. If you didn't receive a copy and you'd like one, let me know. I have some extra copies. And just to highlight a few things, I do have just the base data for our school as far as the population of our staff and our students. And I would like to point out that, our at-risk percentage, so, our low socioeconomic students is at 75%. And that's 134 of our 178 kids. And I would say that is pretty close to the same amount of kids that participate in athletics, which is big. for a small school. Like, that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, because the first thing that I ask when a kid enrolls or a kid is in trouble or anything, I'm always like, well, what sport are you going to play? Because I really think that that's the key, to have them with good role models. I believe in our coaches. We have really good role models here for them, especially men. We know that a lot of our kids struggle with having good men role models to look after. So I try to encourage our students to spend as much time with us as possible, and also it just allows us to keep our eyes on them and make sure that they're fed, which we feed our kids sometimes 4 times a day, I think, for some of our athletes. So as far as special education population, there's 46 out of 178. We have about 25 students on top of that with a 504. And then we have about another 60 that are in SAT, which is on the student assistance team. And if you look on the right-hand column, it talks about some of our strategies to improve test scores, and one of them is a systematic SAT team referrals, because the SAT process has always been here. Everybody utilizes it, but I found that a lot of our processes had an easy place to drop the ball or lose a kid in the crack, so to say. So we've really been developing over the last 4 to 5 years, trying to fix those processes to eliminate the oversight on our part for our kids. And to be on a student assistance team, you would have to be referred for academics, behavior, or attendance. And I listed some of the items that we look at. So our staff in their PLCs, which they meet bi-monthly for, so they'll look at referrals for any student that would have less than 90% attendance, because that's, if you're less than 90%, you're chronically absent, which is the biggest identifier for our balanced scorecard for our school and for the county, the district. So they look at that like at midterm and then at the end of 9 weeks. And then we try to we meet with the parent, the student, staff, and Miss Ashley Wilson meets, and then usually a counselor or Michelle Quinton for CIS, to try to see what we can do to get them here. You know, what are we missing? Why are they not coming? And we actually found that some of it was, pretty fixable for our part, even though we're not the parent. Perhaps for some kids it's a bus issue, where maybe the bus doesn't go all the way up their road, and they don't have a parent that is either there, or if their parent is there, maybe they don't have the means. They don't have 2 vehicles. One parent's at work and they have to drive sometimes 2 miles to meet them. So we've been working with just different kind of ideas to come up with to help get them here. I know Mr. Barnett is working really hard with trying to get like TTA involved to see if we can meet some of our kids at their houses and take them to the bus stop or something like that to help get them here. Then as far as academics, if a kid has 2 Ds or 2 Fs, then they get referred, and we try to figure out what's going on. Is it, most of the time it's an attendance thing also that, contributes to that. So I would say 120 of our kids out of the 178 have some type of intervention or accommodation that our staff's trying to meet to help those kids be on level. The homeless percentage, it says 43%. I know that seems high, but if you know what actually goes into being considered in that category, it would be students that not only are your typical definition of homeless, but they might live in the camper or a tent, or there's couch surfing is what they used to say. They also could be doubled up because their parent can't afford a home on their own, so they're living with the aunt, they're living with the grandparents, like the parents and the grandparents. But also you add in students who their houses are just in like deplorable conditions, so bed bugs, no electric, no water, that kind of thing. There's a lot of our kids that you wouldn't imagine really, or a big chunk of that would be those kids. And then the suspension, so right now we're sitting at 11 different students have been suspended this year, 17 suspensions, so a couple repeat. But I was looking at some data for previous years, and at this time last year we were at 23 students and 46 suspensions. So it's going down pretty significantly. And one of the biggest things that I didn't want to tell any of the staff, even when we had our parent-teacher conference day Monday. I was like, I've been waiting to say this because I didn't want to jinx it, but for, what are we, 12 weeks in the school year right now? 12? We haven't had a fight. And I was looking at the data, and this time last year we had 8 fights, 12 for the year. If you go back the year before that, it was 16 at this point, 26 for the year. And it keeps going back, and then if you go back to the school year 22, we had 38 at this point and 53 for the year. And we're at 0. So that's huge, because that says a lot about the culture and the environment that the kids are in. It says a lot about your staff, because they are doing their part in holding kids accountable, in monitoring, and being diligent to follow classroom rules. And we all have the same school-wide expectations and rules, which really help, going through the PBIS process and working with Terrell Jones to try to make sure that we're all on the same page. So that was huge for us. We haven't had any expulsions this year either, so that's great.
You had none?
None.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's huge for us too. I think the highest we had was 8 one year. Last year we had 2. Our current attendance rate is 91.6% and chronically absent 28%. I was trying to look at the data from, I don't want to compare the whole year, we're only at November. So I went back and looked at the data for last school year up till November to see what the chronically absent percentage was. And it was sitting at like 35% chronically absent. Right now we're at 28. So I know that the whole county made a huge improvement last year, and we had an improvement, but we would love to contribute to like an even larger improvement, because I know their goal is to be below 20, right? Then as far as other strategies that we're working to improve test scores, so we've been working closely with Carnegie Learning for professional development with our special education staff, Ms. Joni Shortridge for iReady, and trying to work on just those prerequisite skills before they receive them in math and English, so they're getting those in WIN. We've adjusted our intervention, which is our WIN. We've adjusted those twice already this school year based off of just data. So at the beginning of the year, the only data that you have would be the GSA scores at the end of the year last year, because they haven't taken the iReady or anything for this year. So we group students based off of that data, and then once they completed the iReady testing and the GSA for the benchmark 1, we regrouped them for the second 9 weeks to try to put your say bubble kids, so to say, kind of in the same group, and also same grade levels, so that they can learn what they're missing. Because in class, it's going on. The standards keep going. So then just a few other things that we're working on as a whole that I think absolutely contributes to the overall impact. Because when you can't teach kids that aren't here, you can't teach kids that are scared to walk in the halls, and you can't teach kids that are hungry, and you can't teach kids who feel alone and isolated and like no one cares. So that's our goal first, is to love the kids. And I say it all the time that I love all of our kids like they're mine, and I love my staff. I treat them like mine. That's how I try to look at every incident or issue that comes up. If this was my kid, how would I want someone to punish them? Because you want them to be held accountable. You want it to be fitting, but you also want to understand why they're underachieving or underperforming or misbehaving, something like that. So I think that our staff does that as a whole. We have a lot of supports that we use. We have Shelly for community and school. She's here full time. She's constantly working with attendance and trying to help improve the attendance. She's also working with, social emotional of kids one-on-one. I know that her and Angela Teetsworth, she's one of the social workers for the county. They make home visits on Monday, and we have 2 kids that kind of have been in and out of the ALC carry over from last year also. They go check on and visit them, make sure they know that we still care about them. They're still our kid, even if they're not in the building right now. And they've taken beds to families already. Food boxes, I mean, just the other day, her and I both, we saw a food truck pull in at the Wildcat Center. And we know that, you know, they're gonna need a lot of extra food boxes for the month of November. And I pulled in and I said, I think that's a food truck over there. I'm gonna go ask if they have any extra, because there was a big line, and I thought the worst they could say is no, you know. But we had a couple families who, out of character, actually would, like, they sent us an email. They tried to contact us for extra food, and that it was out of character. So that tells me the need was dire at that point. And Andy Bird actually very graciously helped us and gave us 2 food boxes to give them. So we have our counselor. She works with them every day. She knows our kids very, very well inside and out. And I think that between the CIS and our counselor, both administrators, we know our kids very well. They call us by name. I bet I received 30 birthday cards that were handwritten from our kids. I had presents coming all day that were, you know, a Diet Mountain Dew, you know, something that a kid took their time to get. They knew what I liked. You know, they were asking my own children stuff that I like just because they know that we love them. You know, nothing else. Like, it's nothing, anything special. They just know that we love them, and if they need something, we're there for them. So I think that's the biggest part that's going to really see the biggest progress this year for us. Do y'all have any questions? I'll let you look. I don't want to read everything to you. One other startling data that I found when I was trying to, I know that my math brain can get caught in the data, but I went back just to school year 24, and the total amount of write-ups for that year was 915 for about 220 kids. Last year, the total amount was 604, and right now we're sitting at about 114. So that's a pretty significant decrease every year.
And I will say that does include non-offenders
Yeah.
and other things, so we have multiple non-offenders.
And my staff, they're not only encouraged, sometimes they're nagged a little bit by me to input the write-ups. I want them to have the data. I want them to be putting in the data so that they don't ever feel like I'm taking away their professionalism or trying to change or manipulate anything, you know. So they enter the write-ups and then we go through them.
Everything looks good to me. You can definitely tell there has been an improvement in the culture just by the data and the way that there has been a decrease in, you know, chronically absenteeism, and yeah, I know there's other things going on at the school with your Porter Academy and the CTE, which I'm sure made this wonderful cup.
They did,
and
yes.
I appreciate that. Last year, I think we got cold coasters.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. There's more people at the Guy Valley LSIC meeting than any other LSIC meeting that we go to, and I appreciate that. So thank you all for coming out and showing your support for your school.
Thank you all. Thanks for the food.
Yes, thanks for everything.
These are, the CTE program here continues to impress me. So
Thank
the
you.
coaster last year is still on my desk at work. It's a good addition to it.
Thank you. I will say
I
these are
appreciate it.
100% made by our kids. They, you know, they obviously bought the tumblers with profit from their store, from selling stuff. And it is slow in the beginning of the year because you have a new group of kids and they're trying to learn how to make everything. But like the 100-year T-shirts, that was their idea because they're part of the Young Innovators Club that Mr. Roberts has kind of rallied behind every school to try to get groups to go. And their innovation, really, they're trying to come up with a way. The middle schools were tasked with coming up with something that could support their community, that's a need. And it's nice if it has revenue because everything does take a little bit of money, but the biggest thing is just to support their community. So they're using what they already have because, you know, these aren't a new invention. Everybody can make tumblers, you know, not every 12-year-old can like ours, but you know, you can buy the tumblers and the shirts, but what they're using that profit for is to try to have a place for our kids to hang out on Friday nights that's supervised, and it's here in the game room. The kids can hang out. They either a dollar donation or canned food donation, you know, something to help, which I think this month that's kind of what their goal was, to have donations of food so that we could then distribute it to the community. We did it on Friday night before Halloween and had a few kids stay over, and they really, I mean, a couple of them just wanted to draw. A couple of them wanted to get snacks and just walk through the store over there and kind of see. And then a couple of them played basketball or a video game. But we know that, you know, my parents would come home at 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. So I played a sport year round, sometimes, most of the time 2 of them, because I needed to be here as much as possible. And I also needed to be here, not just because of my parents, like I needed to spend more time here. So our kids, that if basketball isn't their thing, then what do they have right now? You know, so that was their idea, and they're working hard to try to make it a reality by getting, you know, and that's hard to get staff members to want to volunteer their time to stay an extra 2 hours, because most of my staff are already volunteering their time in some other part of the community, honestly. If not in our building, they're, you know, in another part of the community. But we're going to work with, what's the Bible club, the name that right now?
JYC, the
Yes.
Junior Youth Arts.
So last year they had like 1 to 3 kids, right, Colton? And this year they have how many? Like 14, 16? 17, which is huge. You know, for 1 day a week they stay and they volunteer their time. So we would like to try to collaborate together and combine them on the same night, so that they would have, you know, benefit from the Bible club, but also from being able to have somewhere to go on Friday night.
Yeah.
But and I wanted one more thing. I want to say last year we asked for extra funds to help renovate our locker room. I would invite you to go check it out anytime. It was very much appreciative. I think that we only were short maybe $1,000, and we chipped that in to help finish it. But it's really nice. The kids have a place that, you know, they walk in, and it's not, you never know what you're going to run into. It's not boys and girls out in the middle, because, you know, they play on the same nights, because really you couldn't afford officials if you didn't. Yeah. So, but the girls have their own part, the boys have their own part, and they have a nice middle area that has some couches, carpeted floor, and a TV that they could watch back some film. So we really appreciate that we were able to make that happen because of you all. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Does
Thank you
anybody
very
have
much,
anything
Dr. Porter.
else? All right, if not,
Appreciate it.
that takes us to agenda item 6, consent. Looks like we have items A through C. Give you a second to look that over.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cartwright,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. McComas. Mrs. Burns,
Yes.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yay.
Ms. McComas,
Yes.
Mr. Mosteller,
Yay.
and Mr. Wilson. Yay, that carries 5-0. Before I go on, if anybody would like to get up and leave before we carry on, you're welcome to, or you're welcome to stay as well. So I want you to feel at ease to get up and exit if you'd like. That takes us to agenda item 7, policies. Like we have 10 policies. We've had those to review since last week in our email, but they're also attached here on the left-hand side of your workbook.
These are coming off of 30-day review. Is that correct?
Yes, these are coming off a 30-day review.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cartwright,
I'll second.
second by Mrs. Burns. Mrs. Burns,
Aye.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yay.
Ms. McComas,
Yes.
Mr. Mosteller,
Yay.
and Mr. Wilson. Yes, that carries 5-0. Takes us to agenda item 8, allowed and authorized payment of bills.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mrs. Burns,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Mosteller. Mrs. Burns,
Yes.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yay.
Ms. McComas,
Yes.
Mr. Mosteller,
Yay.
and Mr. Wilson, yes. Passes, carries 5-0. Takes us to agenda item 9, personnel. That's the blue sheet on the back. Another small list this time, but I will say it looks like Dane Baker finally got his wrestling coach at the high school.
They did.
That's good news.
Yes, it is.
Make a motion to approve personnel.
Motion by Mr. Cartwright,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Mosteller. Mrs. Burns,
Yes.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yay.
Ms. McComas,
Yes.
Mr. Mosteller,
Yay.
and Mr. Wilson, yay. That carries 5-0. And that takes us to agenda item 10, superintendent updates.
Just real quickly, we had a meeting today with a contractor at Lincoln County High School. Went over with the architect and engineer on all the requirements for cutting the window in for the safe school entrance. And I think we're going to be able to get the ball rolling on that over Christmas break. So that'll be happening there to get that installed and working properly. So we're real pleased with that. Our new sign, our entry sign into the board office is up. It was put up today. For the first time, we have a very strong maintenance crew. Well, not for the first time. We have a very strong maintenance crew now. We were able to secure 2 people to pass the test and have been working. Right now, it appears all the work orders are caught up. We're not behind on anything. And they've been very diligent about getting out and taking care of business out in a timely fashion. Real pleased with that. We're also working with the technology department to provide all of our service personnel with a device so that they can be able to do their safe school videos and things of that nature, not from their phone, but we will have a device for them. So we're looking at the management system for that now. So I think that's going to happen really soon. Mr. Davis, can you think of anything else that we had a meeting with today?
No, I think you hit it all.
Okay. All right. That's all I have for the evening. Just appreciate the hospitality for Guyan Valley and having us out here this evening and your LSIC report. Glad to see things are going well, and obviously that all you have to do is reach out to Mr. Davis, myself, for anything that you need us to come, or if you just want us to come take a look at something. A lot of times we'll get phone calls say, "Hey, I'm really doing a cool lesson today. I'd like for you to come see it." So we're happy to do that at any time.
Thank you. Takes us to agenda item 11, board member comments.
I'll just say I appreciate the hospitality again. It's always nice to be here. Mr. Wilson already said it's a big crowd and a good crowd, and Randy. So we appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Make sure you get the food up or George will have it all ate.
He smells it.
Anybody else?
It was a nice meeting tonight to see all the people here and the smiles on their faces and the pride in their voices.
Okay, that takes us to agenda item 12, which is adjourn until Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at West Hamlin Elementary.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Mosteller,
I second it.
second by Mrs. Burns. Mrs. Burns,
Yes.
Mr. Cartwright,
Yay.
Ms. McComas,
Yes.
Mr. Mosteller,
Yes.
and Mr. Wilson carries 5-0, and the time is 6:29.